Hey, good morning, everybody. Y'all know me. I'm my name's Troy Floor. This is my house. Come with me. Tell you what's going on with this hoe. This back hoe. Anyway, we bought this house back in end of 2009. We moved in January 2010. And, I remember swinging my kids on a swing right here, on this tree, right here. Once upon a time, there was a big tree that was right there that the city made us take down a few months after we put the fence up. The irony about the fence is that every year we kept putting a swimming pool for the kids, and the city kept citing us for having a pool with no fence. Eventually, my mom and my stepdad, my mom, made a contract with Home Depot, and they made a contract. They marked the line, and they put the fence up. And as you can see, here's some funny ironies about it. Is that when they put the fence up, the guy that owns the back property, he owns these duplexes. He owns the duplexes back here, and some of the other ones down the street and so forth. And he has maintenance guys cut grass all out here for the past few years. And we didn't know where the property line actually was. So, it's kind of funny. So when they marked the fence, they put the stakes. You probably can't see them, but they put the stakes in the ground, and they put the fence right where the stakes were marked. He said a funny story to me, standing right here. And he said how the fence line goes all the way down, dividing all the duplexes on this side and that side. The funny thing is that it goes right through their living room, the property line. That's what he told me. And he said on this side is his property, and on this side is my property. And at the time, he asked if I wanted to cut down these trees. He said, because eventually they're going to grow and damage the house. And I told him that, no, don't cut the trees. We like the shade. If it causes damage, we'll deal with it. We won't bother them. And we actually had to repair the roof a couple of times because of the damage. But we never bothered the guy, and he's never bothered us. So about a year ago, I came home one day, and I parked the car in my parking spot right here. And we made this driveway, by the way. And they put a big giant auction sign right here. Big giant auction sign in our yard. And all the neighbors were like, what the hell, man? Is your house for sale? And I was like, nah, this is crazy. So I called the number on the sign. It was one of those online auction things. And the auction guy told me it's not the auction. And then another guy actually came out and showed me where they were selling. The guy walked out here, and he said, basically, the basketball court. He said it was a 10-foot, basically, by 2 foot, 3 foot strip of land between the access way to the duplexes behind the house and the roadway. Basically, this, where these orange cones are, was for sale. And he said it was like $10,000. Did we want to buy it? And I'm like, what the hell are you going to do with this 10-foot strip of land? I mean, you can't do anything with it. Put a fence up? I mean, what are you going to do with it? So we told him, no, we'll pass. That's just silly. We'll just keep it like it is, Because they said that initially there was properties all over that people can't do anything with. They haven't paying property taxes, and they're just trying to get rid of these excess property things, like this strip of land between the access and the fence. I'm like, yeah, I get that, end of the road kind of stuff like that, stuff by power lines, all kinds of stuff like that. So, well, nah, we'll pass on that, And so then fast forward, and someone bought it. Someone bought online the thing. So they, you know, they later put a so they want to build a house here, and they put a zone variance to make it from 8 foot from 5 foot space down, from 8 foot down to 5 foot. So basically make it closer to my house, you know. And it's crazy to bring it closer to the house, you know. And it's a little upsetting because they basically gave them 3 foot more space. So basically they gave them from the space of here, where this ramp ends. It's actually going to cut the ramp. And I don't know if you can see up over here, but my property line now is where the bushes are. So where the fence is, with the bushes and the porch there. So that's, I keep the porch. This side on will be a house where my backyard is, and it's crazy. The guy said he was supposed to start doing construction today, but I don't think he was thinking about it being Labor Day. But I'm sure they'll probably start tomorrow. So, hi Grandma Millie, we love you. So I just thought maybe if I put a Facebook that maybe could document what's going on here, because, you know, it's crazy. So the guy goes to the variance, but because they moved the building, we moved at the city courthouse. Me and my dad, who's a 100% disabled veteran and owns the house, they moved it, the building of where they have the thing. So we went to the wrong building. So we were like 5 minutes late to the meeting, but we didn't know they held our case first. So by the time we got into the hearing with the city council, they had already voted to give the guy the variance because we weren't there to argue it. So, but we were there just 5 minutes late. They had already released the guy, let him go. We sat there while they tried to track him down. They couldn't, so they said, well, they'll let us come back to hear it again. But they normally never do that. The city never usually hears anything a second time. Once it's voted, it's done. But they did it just because we tried to tell them to explain the situation. And they said, oh, well, yeah, some online thing. All right, so we'll do it. So they brought us back. But because they already made a decision, they just said, well, we already made a decision, we'll stick with it. You guys got to deal with it with some property case or civil suit or something like that. But so they went ahead and continued the vote of the variance, because they said the variance doesn't really matter because it's not going to matter until after we get it settled with some civil thing. And I'm like, this is crazy, you know? Anyway, fast forward, and about a week ago, I didn't hear much about it because they actually, well, the funny thing is that the city was belittling the guy that bought the property. He said, didn't you see? It looks like somebody lives here when you bought it. And he started making some cockamamie thing about, sometimes people are squatters and sometimes they do picnics on my land and I have to get them out. I'm like, does this look like a picnic? Would anybody come down here and think that no one lives on this property? We've been here for 15 years. It's crazy. And I did some research about eminent domain squatter rights. And it says if you've been somewhere for 15 years, you maintain it, people recognize it as that property, then it should be yours. So it shouldn't matter whether or not he bought it or someone else owned it, because of squatters' rights, eminent domain, we should have it anyway. And everyone in the neighborhood knows that. All the kids that played in this basketball court over here, you know, it's crazy to be somewhere for so long and all of a sudden somebody show up and say, this is it. The funny thing is, I can't find the survey for when they put this fence in, because I don't know what company did it. My mom did it through Home Depot, through their contractors. I tried to track down Home Depot, and they don't keep records of that. They don't keep records going back that far. They just sub out the deal, the contract, and when it's done, it's done. But I know it's done legit. They did a survey that day. They marked it. The owner of the other property agreed with it. There was no issue, but now all of a sudden there's an issue. You know, 10 years later there's an issue. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Because we didn't know where the property line actually ended. We actually cleared bushes and trees, and we didn't know where the property line ended. But when they came out and marked it to put the fence up, we figured this ends the argument. At least now we know where it is. And the other owner said, this is your property, this is my property. And I didn't want to push the eminent domain squatters' rights, because I thought, well, what if the old owner on the other side would say it's his property? You know, so I'm like, wow, I don't really want to push it. But then we didn't hear nothing back from this guy for like 6 months. Actually, it was like almost a year, you know? But here he comes, putting this water pipe in. Water access pipe right here. Last week, he did last week. I thought they were fixing the sewer system where they covered it up from the rocks. No, they're putting the pipe. They didn't do anything with the sewer. It's crazy. Anyway, the guy shows up Friday, the investor. And, you know, he shows up and he basically says, I'm the agent of change. I got all this permits. I got the city thing twice. And I'm coming. I'm taking it. He said he's not trying to be a dick or anything. He said he's going to, you know, revamp my dad's handicap ramp that we just put in this year. You know, he's going to wrap it around to the sidewalk. He says he'll move the fence at no cost and move my shed over at no cost. Well, thank you very much. But it still doesn't seem right. This whole thing doesn't seem right. You know, I mean, my wife, who passed away 4 years from COVID, put that cross up right there on my fence. We leave it, you know, in her honor. I used to have a rose bush here too, but somebody cut that down. The lawnmower. Dummy. Anyway, so thank y'all for joining. I just want to make a document of what's going on, and as it develops, I am reaching out to people who specialize in this. A lawyer actually got back with me on Friday and said we you know that I have a really good case based on my scenario. Somebody who specializes in it. So I'm hopeful for a couple of things. I said, well, what if, you know, he's already started tearing down, he's going to come through no matter what, you know, so maybe we can, you know, he said either they'll, you know, who knows, get the house he's building, or he'll have to tear down everything that he tears down, he's going to have to put back, or cut us a big old check. Maybe it'll be enough to cover the mortgage on this one. So I'm really hopeful that maybe eventually be some blessings, you know. Look good like that. Look good like that. So hopefully there'll be some blessings in the end for the property. But it's still weird. It feels so weird to have everything you have. I mean, I know I'm like, you know, 1/8 Native American, but do you really have to take my land there, white man? White man take land, says his. It's funny, right? I mean, well, we won't tell them we're from the Blackfoot tribe, even though I'm really white. It's more like white Blackfoot tribe, really. So it's kind of funny. But so I don't know what to say about the what's going on with this and construction. It's Labor Day, but I don't see anybody laboring, but that's fine by me. The longer he can stay away, the better, you know. So thanks, y'all. Thank Grandma Millie. See if I can add her to the thing. All right, it says I've never done this before. Are you on, Grandma? Well, if you can speak, that'd be great. If not, hang on. Sorry, I never used that add a person thing, but just take it off. Guess it don't work. Let's try one with it. And it's just processing. All right, forget it. I guess it doesn't work. That'd be awesome if it did, though. Man, if you could really relate to the people on your audience, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool feature. We figure that out. It's not working, man. Oh, well. Don't worry about it. So, long story short, you know. Now that's the bad news. Let's look at the good news. The good news is that when they do build this house, they're going to build a like a 3-bedroom, I think you said it was, and they're going to value it like $450,000. That shit is crazy. That's a lot of money. But let me show you a little expanse here as I walk down the street. You know, on top of, you know, that, which will make our house, because our house is a 5-bedroom. You know, technically 6 because we converted the garage, but it's a 5-bedroom. You know, 2.5 bath, 6 if you count the bathroom in the garage. So it'd probably make the house worth $500,000. But it doesn't really matter what your house is worth when you're living in it. It's not like you're selling it. You know, you got to live somewhere. Anyway, so what you can see over here, down the street here, they built. This is all new house. This is one house that was right here. They put like four houses where this one house is, and each one of these houses are valued at over 300,000, something like that, 300, 400, 300 something plus $1,000 for these houses. And there's a bunch more down the street, down that way, that way. They must have built like 10 houses, 10, 12 houses down the street, all brand new construction. This was all done last year, within the past year, and they put them things up quick. I mean, they must have paid the Mexicans 2 cases of Corona because they got it done fast. It's crazy. You know? Yeah. You get a Mexican buy, build your house, and you give him a case of Corona. You give him 2 cases, you get 2 houses. It's crazy. It's true though. It's true. So, I don't know. I don't know. Just wanted to share that. Hey, on Ginger. Hope you're doing good. Down in Florida, living a good life. It's funny, my Aunt Ginger was here cutting down the tree with my Uncle Vince, that was technically in their property. Once upon a time, we had a dog bite where a kid got bit by a dog here, and they paid out $100,000 for that crackhead. And all I had was like a couple stitches on his lip. I'll take 100 G for a couple of stitches. It was fine. Crazy, you know? But it was right here that all that happened. And it's funny. It's funny because all the city documentation of all the times they cite us for grass and bushes and garbage and cars in the yard and all it says is 126 Morrison Avenue. It doesn't show the diagram of the location of the violation. So if I had that, maybe I'd have something to stand on. So well, where was it violated? Where exactly? And I don't know, 126. Well, that doesn't help me. I need something for people to help me with. You know, I don't know, documentation. I don't have it. It doesn't exist. It's like I go up there and half the stuff I'm talking about, it's not there. It's crazy. I took my dad to court for this stuff, but they dismissed it, and there's no record. There's no record of the location with the property line. It just says 126 Morris Avenue. It doesn't say where the pool was. I wish it was. I might have a leg to stand on, or something to stand on, or something to cross or sue with. But anyway, we're going to keep the good fight. We're going to try something. Thank you guys, everybody, for all your love, and y'all have a wonderful day.